CHGO White Sox post-game show, coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. My co-host is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. You're wearing an NWO shirt today.
I am.
I believe Jay
Black and white
Zawoski
forever.
was also wearing an NWO shirt today.
You know why? For life.
I think he was wearing Wolfpack, though.
Oh, man, I can't believe it.
You and Jay have like some weird 670 the score.
Yeah, we got beef.
NWO.
Black and white forever.
Who's on your black and white?
Oh, Scott Hall, of course.
No, but like, who's your Scott Hall? Like, are you Scott Hall? Are you Kevin Nash? Are you? I mean, I guess we call you Hollywood Herb.
I would be Hollywood Herb. Yeah, definitely. Sans the racism.
Right. The reverse.
Yeah, just mark that out.
All right. We'll figure that out. I'm pretty sure Jay was wearing a red NWO shirt today. So it's just funny that you two are always just matchy.
Yeah.
Always just besties.
I hope he wasn't wearing the LWO. Eddie Guerrero's group.
I don't think he was representing
and the 619
Latino world order, or I don't think he was representing the Blue World Order as well. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with us. If you are, we got 5 likes already. I see Ellie hanging out with us, Matthew hanging out with us, Fred, other Matthew Lucas hanging out with us. So make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button if you are hanging out with us. Shout out to Stephen Nicholas, who is producing our show today. We'll be talking about the Kansas City Royals. They defeat the White Sox today, 7-1. Ooh, Steven, you screwed up.
Oh, I have it backwards.
Steven screwed up. White Sox didn't win. Michael Massey doesn't play for the White Sox, so they didn't even
shamelessly
score,
take that graphic
more
off.
than one run. Did you actually publish it?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I was in live mode.
Brutal. If it was in preview, it would have been saved. So Sox lose 7-1. Do you want to talk about the game that much?
Not really. I mean, specifically about Mike Massey a little bit later on, but not about the game. There was nothing about that game that is either positive or stuck out to me as a real big negative for the White Sox. It was another game. I mean, one thing was happened, and I do give him crap when he doesn't hustle, but I saw Tim tag from first to second.
Yeah, he did do that, and thankfully stayed on the bag.
Yeah.
And didn't overrun.
Your guy almost left. Your guy, Andrew Benintendi, almost left.
Yeah, he hit 3 balls. 2 of them were on the edge of the warning track, and one of them actually reached the warning track. Mm-hmm. So, hey, if he had that one more bowl of spinach, he would have been able to.
He's almost there, man.
He's almost there.
One of these years, he's going to hit 10 home runs.
Yeah, hey,
hopefully it's this year.
5 years to get to finally find that feel. But
get to going. It's like 15 games left. Let's go, Benny.
My favorite was he hit a double today. I think he hit a double today because then Jason was like, and Benintendi is now 9 away from his career high that he set in 2018 for doubles because he's at like 31 and his career high was like 41 or something. Maybe he's at 32 now.
You could not tell me that because I would not have known that at all because 31 doubles, I mean, like the most quiet 31 doubles I've ever heard in my life.
The main stat is that his slugging percentage is the lowest it's ever been in his career, and it's lower by 33 points. Like, it's just a career awful year for Andrew Benintendi. So I'm glad there's that one silver lining that he's got a lot of doubles. So great. He's hit 40 doubles, and the White Sox are 40 games under 500. It's been fun. We'll talk about the White Sox versus the Royals and how the Royals have kind of owned them in the past 4 years or so. We'll talk about who's owned them this year. Michael Massey, we are BR. And then we'll talk to Vinnie Duber, who'll be joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field. But Herb, I texted you something. Did you see what I texted you?
Earlier or just
right now, right before we were going live. So I want you to imagine you're sitting down, and I'm guessing you're sitting down in a booth because I'm
a big shooter.
You're with the big wigs, all right. And across from you is gregarious man. Who the hell is this? Brad Stevens, and not former Celtics head coach Brad Stevens, but Rosemont Mayor Brad Stevens,
son of Donald Leach Stevens, who used to be the Rosemont mayor.
Has that convention center named after him. And on the other side of the booth, Jerry Reinsdorf.
Yep.
You're at Gibson's in Rosemont.
Yep.
What are you ordering? What is Jerry Reinsdorf ordering? I texted you the lunch menu at Gibson's. You're sitting down in this booth, probably smoking a cigar.
Who's paying for this? Me or Jerry Reinsdorf?
Definitely not you. You're not paying for it. I mean, you're with the mayor of Rosemont. I mean, you're probably smoking cigars in some back room that's behind a wall.
Yep.
And there's no actual bill. There's no bill actually brought to the table. I mean, just enjoy your meal. I've thought about this, so I'm putting you on the spot here. I don't know why, but there's not a lot to talk about when this team is this bad. You could see I'm trying to entertain myself with my my stupid outfit today.
I really did see this yesterday. I saw somebody put it like, what was it, in Cranes or
Politico?
something? Yeah, in Politico, and they were talking about Greg Hines also retiring. But yes, if I'm going to Gibson's or any steakhouse in the Chicagoland area, even for myself, and I'm buying a bone-in ribeye, getting it Pittsburgh style, which is just charred in the outside, medium rare on the inside. Delicious. It's where I want it. And Gibson's, I've been there once, not the one in Rosemont. I've been to the one in the Viagra Triangle, and it's decent enough.
The pardon?
Huh?
Pardon?
That's what they call it, Viagra Triangle.
Why is that?
Because that's where all the old dudes hang out and try to hit up on the young hotties.
Best of luck.
As the kids do.
Raimundo is saying, let's talk about Nashville. Hey, apparently we're talking about Rosemont. Nothing really jumped out to me from the actual story. Steven said that Reinsdorf wanted his thoughts. Everyone thinks I know what I'm doing, but I'm just lucky in development. But again, Reinsdorf has 6 years left on the lease, 2 guaranteed rate field. And what we know from Jerry Reinsdorf is he's just trying to get the most from what he can. I don't think he has any serious intentions of leaving Chicago, and it's just annoying that this is going to play out like it did back in the 80s.
Yeah, but I think he's using this as a work, and I sent it to the Discord, and if you want to become a member of our CHGO White Sox Discord, become a member. Become a diehard on allchgo.com. But I sent it out there, and people were like, nah, I'm not too much thinking Rosemont, but don't poo-poo Rosemont too much. It's in the Golden Corridor right there with all those thoroughfares right there. They have a couple stadiums, a softball and a baseball stadium for the Dogs, and I don't know what the Bandits are called now, whatever that league is now. But they have 2 stadiums already there, and probably would give Jerry his necessary funding that he needs. I mean, they've built things that, they necessarily have the money for before. And so I'm sure, Brad Stevens talking that good game and saying, hey, man, bring him here. But Jerry's using this as leverage as, he can go back to Brandon Johnson and say, hey, man, Rosemont sounds good. Just as the Cubs kind of try to do with all their conquests when the Ricketts try to get some money out of the city. And the city's like, nah, go ahead and move to wherever city you want to move. We ain't giving you a damn dime. And it worked out for the Ricketts. They paid for their own thing, and now they got their amusement park around Wrigley Field. But, yeah, Jerry's just using this as leverage and classic play. As an older gentleman, he keeps on doing the same playbook, and we know it's not going to work. Who's going to travel out with this fan base, mostly in the South Side, been there for hundreds of years, out to Rosemont? Yes, it's got great public transportation and all the thoroughfares, but if you move a team out to Rosemont, people are going to be pissed. They're going to be really pissed. Traditional flagship organization of the American League out to Rosemont, no one's going to be going out there like that.
No, and last time Jerry Reinsdorf ran this playbook, because again, you mentioned he's old, he was probably doing it with actually Donald E. Stevens. They were probably at the same damn Gibsons.
Yep.
Jerry Reinsdorf was probably ordering the same damn thing, which is the Cobb salad.
I didn't ask you, what'd you get?
I don't know what I'm getting. There's no, but I just know that man's getting a Cobb salad. Who do you know that eats Cobb salads? Old people.
Well, my 35-year-old fiance eats Cobb salads all the time too. The other day,
sorry, Courtney.
No, it's fine. The other day, I don't think she knew, but there was a restaurant that had a Thai Cobb salad. And she was just like, I don't know what that is. So she just got the Cobb salad. And she told me about it. I was like, Probably not the most delicious salad of all time.
It's a weird salad.
Yeah, very Georgia-y. Probably had some peaches in it, some cons. Steven, I know what you're going to get. You're going to get 2 ribeyes.
I was going to say tomahawk if they have it. Just a bigger ribeye.
Yeah, you're just wasting a lot of money on a bone right there, Steven.
The bone adds so much flavor.
I know. There's bone in a regular ribeye, too, but you're paying like hundreds of dollars for that extra bone.
I just want the clout of
not
having
eating.
a tomahawk at this Gibson Steakhouse with some rich people sitting around me.
This is lunch. I don't know if they have lunch tomahawks. It's kind
But again, you're with Bradley Stevens.
I feel like if I
Right.
say I'm with Bradley Stevens, they might just bring out a tomahawk for
and you
lunch.
was like, God damn it, I want a tomahawk. Well, we don't have any, sir. Go and fly one in. The airport's right there. Steven wants a tomahawk steak right now.
I don't know if he's got that cachet.
Who in that city? Yeah, he does. That family, the Stevens family. I mean, he went pretty much from his dad to him, with like very little challenge, and I think he gets like 70% of the vote.
You're my historian. Donald E. Stevens died in 2007. R.I.P. Sky Point to Donald E. Stevens. And then a year later, here's a segue for you. On May 16th, 2008, the White Sox fired Senior Director of Player Personnel David Wilder, among with 2 scouts, as the result of an FBI investigation into bonus skimming scandal in the Dominican Republic, orchestrated by the trio. They were found to have defrauded the Sox organization of more than $400,000, receiving kickbacks from signing bonuses and contract buyouts of Latin American players. It was a part of a wider investigation into the practice in Major League Baseball. Wilder eventually pleaded guilty to mail fraud in federal court, and in 2013 he was sentenced to 2 years in federal prison. Brittany Grioli, thank you. I always
Or Giroli.
Shout out to her for the article. I do not know how to say her name, but she has a piece in the article in the Athletic. Talking to David Wilder, who had his first comments since he was released from prison since 2015. I don't know about this story. I didn't know much about David Wilder until I read this story. David was the director of player development during the 2005 White Sox World Series winning season, and then was promoted again in February 2007 before his quick fall from grace. What was this scandal like in 2008? If it was, were you working in Chicago at the time? And,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing the score had the Sox on the airwaves.
2008, the Score did have the Sox by that time. They acquired her in 2006. So we heard about it, but it really didn't get any legs. It was like kind of like a joke. Kind of, you remember how you found out about the Omar Vizquel, Wes Helms sexual harassment and sexual intimidation thing? That's kind of how it was. It was like known by the people in the media, but not really talked about pretty extensively. Probably a segment, if that, on 670 The Score for maybe each of the shows. And because we didn't really know who David Wilder was, and it was just a black mark on Kenny Williams at the time, who was the general manager, and how his staff was down there skimming money from deserving prospects and such. So, yeah, they really didn't get back to the main ball club. But if we ever had to get our pound of flesh with Kenny Williams, like on the air, that's what we would use. So, like, what is David Wilder doing then? Your guy under your direction there is doing all this stuff down in the Dominican. What's going on with that type of stuff? And that was the feeling about that whole Dave Wilder thing. And then when you accumulate all the stuff that the White Sox have and Kenny and Rick have, that's kind of some of the stuff that you would bring up. Dave Wilder, the Omar Vizquel stuff, like the lack of institutional control by those two guys. And so that's part of that. But he had no love for either Kenny or Rick in that article.
No, he didn't. And I just find it interesting, too, because, I mean, you hear about the position they had in 2005, Director of Player Development. Chris Getz, what position did he hold from 2017 to 2022, or to 2020 with the White Sox? Oh, Director of Player Development. And then David Wilder gets a promotion. Chris Getz got a promotion. So I just think it's funny that, like, this could be like if Chris Getz from 2017 to 2020 got promoted and then was fired a couple months later. Like, I don't know. I feel like this would be a pretty big story. I mean, probably because Chris Getz is a former player and, you know, yada, yada, yada. It's a little
Wilder
bit
was
than,
too, but he wasn't as public as in the city as Chris Getz was. It was a big-time prospect.
So
And somebody points out a good point, like social media wasn't really a thing in 2008. I think Twitter came about in 2009, and Facebook was a thing, but it wasn't really a gossip type of thing for sports. Dan brings up that good point.
Yeah, and I think it's worth you going to read the article if you're interested in more about David's story. I don't know how relevant it is to today's White Sox. There is one quote about how Jerry runs the team and how Jerry is hands-on. I'm kind of just blue in the face about complaining about Jerry Reinsdorf. I can't do anything to control him, and it's not surprising that once that loyalty runs out, people aren't afraid to kind of talk out, I guess.
Yeah, and right message, wrong messenger. That's what I got to say. The guy went to jail for doing something illegal, and he cops up to it, but he's the wrong person. Like, you can't, as a convicted felon that went to jail for skimming money from prospects, be like, oh, no, that guy's wrong. Like, yeah, what he says tracks with Jerry Reinsdorf, but also doesn't because of what Jerry Reinsdorf just told Vinnie and the assembled media in his office like 2 weeks ago, where that's up to Chris. Oh, no, Pedro coming back? Let's talk to Chris. Money? Or that's me, but players he wants? Chris. I guarantee, and Xavier Welder says, that Jerry Reinsdorf is going to be in every meeting, every player acquisition. He's going to be yaying and naying, which you shouldn't be doing as the owner unless money is involved, like actual, like, hey, can I go over this number of dollars? I know we budgeted something. Can I go over? That's the only way that Jerry Reinsdorf should be involved in these acquisitions. But according to Dave Wilder, it says, like, nah, he's in everything. He knows everything that's going on with his ball club, which as an owner you should, but you shouldn't be interfering with baseball operations. If you hire an inexperienced guy who doesn't know how to do his job, let him not do his job correctly instead of you get in there because you don't know how to do your job either.
Yeah. I think the most damning thing was in any business, if you have someone who has been successful, I want their ideas. He never asked for ideas. He never said, Dave, you were with Atlanta. What were they doing? He was too smart. Nothing has changed. Again, he hasn't been in the organization since 2007. I don't know if he knows that nothing has changed, but let's see. Ken Williams was just fired this year. So, yeah, probably nothing has changed. And two, you bring up the convicted felon point, and that's what the White Sox brought up when asked for a comment. A White Sox representative said, we do not feel a convicted felon's more than 15-year-old opinions, as well as his excuse for illegal activities, victimizing the team and innocent Latin American players and families, merit a platform or a response. I would push back on that. Again, the fine that he had to pay back was less than $500,000. I mean,
He still paid it back.
Right. I don't know how incredibly damning that was to certain families. Again, he did his time. Second chances are deserved. And two, it's a very interesting story that I didn't know about. It's interesting to hear about past baseball FBI investigations. So I think it's absolutely worth a platform. I'm just interested in the story, in, how this all happened. And I don't, we always hear that nobody really is knocking around the White Sox asking for interviews. So when Dave says that he was used as token interviews, I can see that. I'm not sure if I really am buying that he was a rising candidate for the GM jobs. But hey, you stay in the league long enough, you might get promoted high enough.
Rick Hahn was a rising candidate, of course. People were checking for Rick Hahn, so that's a thing that was real. No one was checking for Dave Wilder, maybe in his dreams. But if he was getting checked on, he would have went because he felt unappreciated by the Reinsdorf people who were not listening to his ideas, apparently. So, yeah, I'm sure I don't remember anybody calling for Dave Wilder. I think the first time I heard Dave Wilder's name was when they arrested him and the White Sox fired him. So, yeah, no one was checking for him.
No, and hey, again, he got out of prison in 2015, and it took, 8 years? 8 years to get his comments finally out.
He's had a hard life, which he should. Hey, man, you do that dirty crime right there, you should have some toughness on the backside of that. And, he's been helped out in the article. It says Stu tried to get him a job, Dave Stewart, who was a GM of the Arizona Diamondbacks at the time. But D-backs ownership said, nah, we don't want a convicted felon who was convicted of stealing money from our prospects on our staff, and then Dusty Baker has helped him out with a couple things too. So he's struggling his way through, but I think he's trying to look for a little clout, but also trying to get his pound of flesh for people, like you said, that didn't show him loyalty. Now he wants to talk smack about Jerry, Kenny, and Rick. I'm not saying those people don't deserve to get smack talked about him, but I see his angle on this thing, and it's not from a good angle.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time, hearing about the story, so I'm not gonna, I don't know, shit about it. So I'm not really gonna go too hard. And Dave Wilder, he is a convicted felon, but also he did his time. So I mean, it's interesting to at least hear the story. Again, credit to Brittany for the story in The Athletic. Let's take a break, and we're going to let you know about Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kind of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football season. No matter where you are in your cannabis journey, they have easy online ordering and in-store pickup, and great transparent loyalty programs, Sunnyside Rewards, so you can take advantage and make your pickup a breeze. They're Illinois' favorite dispensary. Herb likes the one in Wrigleyville. The one in Elmwood Park is my fave. Do you like taking gummies when watching football?
Oh, yeah.
Is it? Do you not like? Do you want to be relaxed?
Well, there's different types. The ones I take sativa are more energetic.
All right, there you go.
So I like to focus in on the game. I think I also focus better when I'm doing some gummies. It's awesome for me. It might not work the same for you, but I would say, if you're watching a game or doing something like menial during the day, like doing taxes, man, nothing better.
Yeah, hey, take some edibles to your taxes, and hey, use your code too when you sign up.
that boring stuff that you're doing. If you're not driving anywhere, you're not going anywhere any day, and you're just doing chores around the house. Oh, brother, come on.
Through October 15th, head to sunnyside.shop and use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer. It's not stackable with other promotions. It's not only for new customers. Anyone can use our code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois Med card holder. Again, code CHGO25 at sunnyside.shop.
You ever see the movie with Adam Sandler? I've referenced this movie before with the remote control and Christopher Walken. I think it's called Click.
Click.
Yeah. That's what Sunnyside is. Like all that boring stuff, fast forward.
Oh, there you go.
It feels like you're zooming through life, all that boring stuff. And then when you got the good stuff, it's like it slows it down. Chills out a little bit.
I think they're closing all the Bed Bath & Beyonds, but if you actually got lucky enough to go to the Beyond section, it's not Christopher Walken. It's actually just the Sunnyside. So
I mean that works.
Right.
I mean, I would love to see Christopher Walken and the Sunnyside also. I can't do a Christopher Walken. I can't do it. It's not going to give him justice. I'm not a Kevin Pollak.
Kevin Pollak?
Yeah, Kevin Pollak does a good actor. Kevin Pollak. Probably don't know who that is.
I thought AJ Pollak.
No, not the former White Sox. Kevin Pollak's an actor. He's been in a bunch of movies. He's like more of a character actor. I'm trying to think of a guy who does one.
39 people are watching. I think that's a low enough for me to take a shot at a Walken impersonation. Maybe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do it. I was kidding.
Just do it.
Well, you talk more. I'm trying to figure out what to say.
Okay.
I don't. What?
That's Sir Goosington is
trying to
Vinnie.
cue you up here.
I don't know. I don't know why I even said it. I regret it.
And Bradley Cooper does a good Walken because he was in the movie Wedding Crashes with him. Yeah.
I was watching 30 Rock recently, and Tina Fey tried to do a Christopher Walken, and she failed, and it just wasn't funny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if I want to do it, but she knew she failed. But whatever.
The Walken impression is a short walk, but if you mess it up, it's like, it's not that hard. So I don't want to try it and mess it up.
All right, well, here, Vinny's joining us. I still got to get through a FOCO read, but Vinny, if he's just going to join us right at this point, I guess we got to see if can we add him.
Do you want him on screen?
Yeah, add him.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Hey, Vin.
What's up, guys?
Nothing much. You can follow Vinny at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. Can you do a Christopher Walken impersonation?
Not a good one.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay, now I'm going to get through this FOCO read. We have this lovely Tim Anderson bobblehead and this Southpaw bobblehead that was donated by our friends over at FOCO. Check out FOCO.com. That's FOCO.com, or click in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. They have the best sports gear around. They got hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything you need. For a man cave, for football season. It's also still the remaining remnants of baseball season. You can get aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a game. They even have checkered overalls for your Bears watching for the next 16 weeks or so. So check out FOCO.com. That's FOCO.com, or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Hi, Vinny.
Hi.
Yes. Yeah, we already said hi.
You did. I could do a much better physical impression of Christopher Walken from one of my all-time favorite music videos, which is Fatboy Slim, Weapon of Choice.
Yes.
That's my favorite Christopher Walken work right there.
I mean, feel free to just...
Can you dance like him?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, given the space, I'm sitting in a chair
Okay.
right now. I can't do it right this
Excuses.
second, but maybe we could work something out.
We're thinking next Monday. We're back in the studio. All right.
Hey, let's just find an abandoned hotel downtown or an empty hotel downtown and shoot something.
Better than watching the White Sox at this point. We're almost there. We're almost at the end of the season. We're getting closer and closer. We can now check out cross off all the games against the Kansas City Royals off the schedule. No more Royals for 2023. They have won the season series against the White Sox. And Steven, let's go into. I'm not gonna try the walking thing. I don't know why that came out of my mouth. Let's go to the season series versus the Royals since 2019, and we'll start here. Since 2019, because the last time the White Sox won a full season series against the Royals was 2018. They went 11-8 against the Royals then. 2019, they were 9-10 with a run differential of -9. In 2021, 9-10 with a run differential of +1. 2022, they were 9-10 against the Royals with a +3 run differential. And then in 2023, a 6-7 record and a -18 run differential. I am leaving out 1 year, but it wasn't a full year, and it's the funniest year. They did win the season series against the Royals in 2020 with a run differential of +31. They won 9 of the 10 games against the Royals. But in all the regular 162 seasons, they can't figure it out, Vinny. We heard all the way back in November from Pedro Grifol about what the White Sox were like playing the Royals in 2022. I don't know if Pedro had any thoughts now that the book is closed on the Royals series, but just another disappointing year against a team that is, the bottom feeder of the elephant in the room.
I mean, hey, this is there's this weird trend, right, of teams that the White Sox can't really solve. And I feel like it's been going on ever since I've been paying attention to this team, which is, and the Royals are right at the top of that list, probably the most frustrating because they are within the division and they're frequently bad, right? I mean, they are the worst team in baseball right now. This is not a team that anybody should really be struggling with, and yet over and over and over again the White Sox find themselves doing so, and it's kind of uncanny, really, that this has been the case for them for so many years. Other teams like the A's come to mind for this has been going back years that the White Sox have trouble with the A's. The Orioles are another one, I think, Herb, where just going back years they can't seem to figure out these teams. And the Royals are certainly one of them. Like I said, the most frustrating, because you look out on the field and you're like, who are these guys? Who are these guys coming in? We're making fun of the Royals reliever coming in and calling him MacArthur Park up here in the press box because we have no idea who this guy is. Again, might be a very good player now and down the road, but you look at the roster and you would assume that with the talent that even the White Sox, who have had such a disappointing season, are throwing out there, they should be able to handle the Royals. And alas, they cannot, and they seemingly always have trouble with the Royals. So, when it comes to winning a division and winning, a playoff spot and winning a championship, you got to take care of the games you're supposed to win. And the White Sox, no matter how often they have supposed to be better than the Royals, they can't seem to do that when it comes to this, I guess you can call it a little bit of a rivalry, right?
It's kind of like what I say the Bears and the Lions are. No matter where the Lions or Bears are at, those games are going to be tight, and it's going to be, how the Lions beating us? They're terrible. Now they're good, but that's kind of how I feel about the Royals. Like, when people ask me what team or what fan base I don't like the most, it's like, it's probably the Twins, number one, but the Royals are right there because that team just keeps on beating the White Sox. And I don't know, like, when they see the White Sox, as Pedro says, they know that they have lifeless times. And in this game, I don't know if there was lifeless times, but in this whole season series, 100%. The White Sox just take the Royals for granted, and the Royals look at those games as games that they can grab on the schedule, and they look at them as big brother and taking a notch from them. And apparently we look at Royals as, man, that's the greatest team ever. Let's get all their people over here immediately, except for the good people.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, let's get Mike Massey over here because he's obviously love hitting in his hometown. We'll get to him in a second here. But Brian McGuffey had this set, and I'll get to another one from John Greenberg, just kind of summing up the White Sox just awful 2023. This is their 90th loss this year against 90-plus loss teams this year. That's Colorado, KC, and Oakland. The White Sox are 23 games out of 23 games.
Let's go with they've won probably 10 out of 13.
10 out of 13.
Boom,
Good
10
job,
out of 13,
Herb. There you
yeah.
go. Vinny, you didn't even get a chance. I'm so sorry.
I was doing math. I was doing math in my head because I knew the Royals one, and I was trying to remember back to those Rockies and A's series, and I'm like, ooh, here we go. Let's see if I can remember it. Remember, too, they're playing the Nationals coming up, who are better than they were a little while ago, but that's another one of the worst teams in baseball right there.
Thank God Stone Gossard is not thank God because he actually got injured and that's scary. But thankfully we don't have to see him because he's a Sox killer. And John Greenberg also had this Sox fall to 6-7, which
you got to whiteboard that because people are like Stone Gossard, the Pearl Jam guy.
Yeah, there's what was his,
Stone Garrett.
Stone Garrett,
yeah,
who used to play for the Diamondbacks, hit a homer off Cease last year.
Yeah,
and we call him Stone Gossard because Stone Garrett's such a silly name in itself. But John Greenberg had this too. Sox about to fall to 6-7 in the season series with the Royals, who haven't won any other AL season series. They haven't beat another AL team this year.
They're the worst team in baseball. They're the worst team in baseball.
Outscored them by 18 runs.
I mean, the White Sox are the fourth worst team in baseball. So.
What'd you say? They got cut off by the Price is Right.
I said that the White Sox are the fourth worst team in baseball, so it's not like they're, the Royals are like stepping up to the plate and doing this against the Rays or anything like that. But still, the Royals are the worst team in baseball. That is, it remains shocking to me because remember the A's, the start that the A's got off to, and we were talking about how special bad the A's were. Well, guess what? The Royals are worse.
I guarantee you, if the White Sox ever figure this thing out and get to the top of the AL Central. And I know in 2020 they demolished the Royals, but that's a Mickey Mouse league or year. They'll be still struggling versus these Royals. It's something about that team and something about them when they see the White Sox that always makes these games competitive. And I know it's been a bad year, but this is like disgusting to lose to the Royals every single year. The Royals.
By a lot.
I know we joke.
Disgusting.
I know we joke about this though, but aren't the White Sox trying to be the Royals? They hired the guy from the Royals. Chris Getz came for the Royals. His only other experience that is not from the White Sox, I guess, a little bit from Toronto, but it's from KC and Chicago. And Pedro was talking recently about how he wants smart, fundamental baseball players, and that's consistently what the Royals are: smart and fundamental.
Are they?
I guess.
You see them booting the ball around today and yesterday.
Well,
they were royal their ass off, but the White Sox out-royaled the Royals. Yeah,
well, what they were doing though. I'll point this out. Listen, last year, everybody was very, very noticing the Cleveland Guardians and the way they played, and particularly the way they ran the bases, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know who was running the bases like that tonight was the Kansas City Royals. They are taking full advantage every single time they saw the White Sox. And granted, a lot of teams are doing this, but the Royals were glaring about it, taking advantage of their pitchers not being able to hold runners on, stealing second base all the time, getting to third base in some occasions yesterday, I can remember, and going first to third all the time. There's a guy who scored from first on a double tonight. The Royals were running the bases in a way that White Sox fans would love to see the bases being run.
Yeah, they had Waters picked off from Aaron Bummer and still got the second base because the White Sox are just poor at executing a perfect pickoff, which was right there in front of their faces. So, yeah, the Royals are taking advantage of the White Sox. So is the rest of the American League. And if we don't get a good catcher or catcher's not even the problem. It's the pitchers who don't leave any chance for the catcher to throw the guy out at second. So, yeah, we need a coach that actually establishes a good pickoff move or keeping the runners close, because this is garbage.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to watch. And, I mean, Bobby Witt ended up with 2 stolen bases tonight, right? He stole second and third in that inning. I don't know if he had 2 final. Yeah. So Bobby Witt has stolen 7 bases this year off the White Sox out of his 44. So a good chunk of the stolen bases this year have come against the Sox. The pitcher tonight was Clevinger. We'll get to this. We'll take a break. I saw you had a quote from Pedro on Clevinger's season. Him and Kopech have been the ones that have been struggling with keeping guys on first base if they allow a walk or a hit. But Pedro was still complimentary of Clevinger after the game.
Yeah, I think the main thing for folks to know that, Clevinger threw 6 innings tonight, only gave up 2 runs, he only threw 82 pitches. And so normally I think you would expect to see him go past that mark. But apparently he's been dealing with a little bit of back tightness. And the way Clevinger explained it was just, hey, they are where they are in the standings and in the season. No need to kind of risk anything like that. But he's still feeling the same way he's felt for basically the whole second half, which has been really good for him. I asked Pedro, it's up to the front office and to Mike Clevinger with that mutual option, but would you like to see Clevinger back on this team next year? And he said, absolutely. He said, that any team should want to have Clevinger the way that he's been performing. He also complimented the way he's been in the clubhouse, that he's been with the young pitchers on the White Sox, that coming from the manager. So, obviously it's not going to be up to Pedro the way that contract is structured. It won't even be solely up to the White Sox the way that contract is structured. But, listen, I think he can probably see the rotation and the needs the same way we can, and to have a guy like that who has been, as he put it tonight, very consistent, that would obviously be quite the plus for the White Sox, on paper.
Another bad thing to highlight from the Royals game tonight, the guy who came in for the opener, Alec Marsh, 0-8 with almost a 6 ERA coming into today's game, never won a major league game. Today's his first major league win.
Hey, congrats to him.
White Sox, just terrible. And Vinnie's guy, MacArthur Park, has almost like 8 ERA, and he got his first hold this year too. So it's just like, whatever. These guys are just terrible.
Is that the kid who pitched at the end?
MacArthur, no, he pitched like right after Marsh.
The kid who pitched
Davidson.
in the 9th inning didn't even break a sweat. Threw 2 pitches to, I believe, Aloy and Yoan. They swung at the first 2 pitches. And then I don't know what Andrew Vaughn's doing. I think he is taking pitches for the faint of his own heart. I think he just is saying, I'm taking the first 2 pitches no matter what. He takes a fastball right down the middle on the first pitch. I guess he's like, oh, well, the first 2 guys swung at the first 2. I can't end this game. Then takes another cookie right down the middle. And then he swings at a splitter in the dirt. And it's like, just try to stay alive. It's like you had 2 perfectly good pitches to swing at the first time. Hey, I'm not a major leaguer. I don't know how difficult it is, but also I wanted to go home. So I'm fine if you get 3 pitches in a 7-1 game.
And Shay, I'm not apologizing to Mike Clevinger. He's an average pitcher who's highlighted by being the best White Sox pitcher. As I said before, the bar of the best White Sox pitcher is in hell, and he's barely stepping over it. So, yeah, great. Mike Clevinger's Go ahead.
I believe he is second on the team in WAR this season. Luis Robert Jr. is first. I believe Clevinger is second.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe Lucas Giolito, who hasn't been on the team in a month and a half, is third.
The man's pitching 114 innings as a starting pitcher into September. So, is he great? No. He's an all right pitcher for a pitcher-starved organization. So
he's doing his job better. He's done his job better than any other White Sox starting pitcher, or any that they currently have, that's for sure. Not including Giolito, I guess, who didn't get a chance to finish the season as a White Sox, but there you go.
To be fair, he was placed on waivers, and playoff teams could have added him to their playoff roster, and no one took a shot, and he's still with the White Sox. So I don't know how great he has been. And Pedro has been consistently complimentary towards Clevinger since the beginning of spring training, since the jump. So, I mean, it's not too shocking to hear that he would be, willing to welcome him back in 2024. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll jump into White Sox killer, Mike Massey. Want to let you know about our friends over at Shady Rays. the Sun's not as strong as she was. The
Doesn't
Sun's
stay as much, but it's still decent.
right. I mean, these
I
are
like it.
these are premium polarized shades at an affordable price that our friends at Shady Rays are offering you. They're an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized shades. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. We also, in the top right corner, are supported by our friends over at DraftKings, and football's back. Herb's taking his gummies and chilling, and it's in full swing with another week of epic games. And who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Nobody's missing out on the action this season. All DraftKings customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code CHGO to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms for eligibility, terms and responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance, and eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Steven, give me one of your pick of the weeks.
Ooh, I got to pick just one?
One.
All right, Darren Waller, first TD in the Giants versus Cardinals game.
There you go. That's pick of the week from Steven. My pick of the week is for Thursday. We are taking the primetime under. They're 3-0 this year. It's like 144 to 111 since like 2010. We're taking the under.
Vikings Eagles?
Vikings Eagles 49.5. We're taking the under, and you can get a 50% boost with your friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. So go check that out. And finally, to watch all these games, check out Fubo TV. FuboTV.com/CHGO. They have 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You could stream live TV from any device and watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. And you could start watching immediately with a free trial when you go to FuboTV.com/CHGO. There's no contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching now. My favorite part is the 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge, and you can watch local teams while traveling. So while Cody's out in Colorado or while he's out in Arizona, he can watch his Cubs on Marquee. And we got college football coming up this weekend. We got Big Ten After Dark tomorrow to get you covered for all the Big Ten games coming up this week. We got NFL on Fubo. The Bears are taking on the Bucks. You can also watch all of the action this Sunday on Red Zone with Fubo TV. There's also the UEFA Euro qualifiers coming up. So watch all of your favorite college football and the NFL, and hey, even footy with Fubo. Go to www.FuboTV.com/CHGO to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
And you can also watch the Cubs on Fubo.
You could.
Or watch them down the stretch, lose this wild card lead, or get into the playoffs.
I was
whatever your preference is.
Rooting for them to lose in Colorado, but that's just because of the tank.
Yes.
So there you go. Now, let's get into how the White Sox lost. All they needed was one home run. The Royals in, the third inning from my guy, second inning, Michael Massey. Michael Massey, 2023 versus the Sox in 19 games. Actually, this is including 2022 as well. So Michael Massey in his career versus the Sox, 19 games, 65 at-bats, 23 hits, 4 doubles, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, a 353 average, and a 692 slugging percentage. So what, Steven?
This is just funny. I mean, this guy just mashes the White Sox, and he doesn't really have the biggest power profile. And you look at the stats here, it just jumps off the page.
It's hilarious.
Versus everybody else is just nothing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So I do like to play narrative ball. Narrative ball is very fun on StatCast. And there's this stat that kind of tells you like quality of contact plus K percentage plus walk percentage. So it kind of just says like, you know, who's really hitting the ball hard. And it takes your actual weighted on base percentage and your expected weighted on base percentage.
Okay.
Can you name the 3 players who have a higher expected than actual weighted? So the
in
top
the
3.
whole league, a higher expected than their actual at bat.
I'll try one.
I mean, context clues. Mike Massey.
Mike Massey's 3rd.
Okay.
Is George Springer on there?
No.
Damn.
His teammate Vlad Guerrero Jr. is, and Aaron Judge. So the top 3 players that are expected to be the best hitters in Major League Baseball. Mike Massey is up there. It's just only coming to fruition against the Chicago White Sox. And oh boy, is it fun to watch.
It's like that meme with the soldiers holding their guns on the wall and then the one clown in there. And that's Mike Massey. Not to call him a clown, but he doesn't deserve to be in the realm of Aaron Judge and Vladito.
He acts manfully. You know, he's a crusader. He was. There's a story from Southwest Regional Publishing.com back from 2022 where a baseball coach said that he was supposed to show up at 9:30, but he was there at 7 taking grounders. So that's why he's in the MLB, folks. My favorite part about that, though, is, and Jason brought it up on the broadcast, there's a quote from Mike that says, I get asked a lot about that when I come back here. My favorite player was Scott Podsednik. That's why every night I wear the eye black. So I know just every time he's coming up to the plate, he's got that eye black on. He's stepping in from the left-handed side. He's thinking about 2005. He's thinking about the fundamentals deck. I mean, this kid is, if he wasn't in Major League Baseball, I think he'd be a diehard in our Discord. So shout out to Michael Massey. I can't wait until he's a White Sox next year.
No.
Him and Salvi Perez in a trade? Who says no?
When they release him like in 3 years, he's going to be a White
Jesus,
Sox.
Come on. What's wrong with you?
What does he do otherwise? Like, we don't play that many more games versus the White Sox. We only played 13, not the 19 we had.
Michael Massey, 90th percentile in Major League Baseball in sweet spot percentage. All right, so that dude knows where to find the sweet spot of the bat.
I'm not going to find the grass, though.
So I just wanted to find who else is like Mike Massey. You see the slugging percentage of like 692. Who else but for the White Sox has just owned a division foe? So this is since 2019, a division foe. What player had the one singular season where he had 60 more at-bats, or 60 more than at-bats against one team, and had a slugging percentage of, the highest slugging percentage against a division opponent?
I'm just going to say...
This is singular season since 2019.
Oh, since 2019. Okay, then I'm going to go with Jose Abreu versus the Twins. No. Luis Robert versus the Royals.
No.
Oh, no. Vinny?
This is specifically a White Sox against another AL Central team.
Yes, for one season.
Yohan Moncada versus the Tigers.
Nope. It was A.J. Pollock versus the Tigers. He had 4 home runs, 5 doubles, and slash 375, 431, and 641.
2 A.J. Pollock references in one show. That's tough.
Good.
That's way too many.
We didn't even do that last year. He was on the team.
Yeah. White Sox legend. Hey, so maybe this is just A.J. Pollock 2022 versus the Tigers all over again. I hope it's a fruitful career that turns into a Hall of Fame plaque for Mike Massey, and we'll see what happens. I guess probably somewhere in the middle.
No, it's only be a Hall of Fame plaque at whatever you guys' school's at, 95th, whatever.
Not 95th. We're at 99th. Sorry.
Same place.
95th is where the Portillo's and Jewel is. Vinny, any final thoughts, any news or notes from the park that we missed before we wrap this up?
Well, I'll just tell you this. After Massey hit that home run, I decided to go ahead and find who statistically have been the biggest Sox killers since most of the folks that are watching have been paying attention. And here's your top 10. This is coming into tonight. Most weighted runs created plus against the White Sox since 2000, minimum 60 plate appearances. Number 10, Bobby Higginson, former Tigers great. Number 9, Jermaine Dye, former, obviously did most of that damage with the Royals, I would imagine. Number 8, Mike Trout. arguably best baseball player ever. Number 7, Mike Cameron, another former White Sox.
4 home runs
numbers
one game.
All of that weighted runs created plus in one game.
All in one game.
Poor John
Number
Welch.
6, Nori Aoki, another former Royal. Number 5, fifth in this century, Michael Massey.
Wow.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
I love this stat.
203 weighted runs created plus against the White Sox coming into tonight, and then he hit another home run tonight. So he could very well currently be in 4th place. That would be jumping a 3,000 hit player, Rafael Palmeiro, number 4. Number 3, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, 7 home runs this year.
Number 2, here's your one of those things is not like the others, Austin Meadows. And number one, by a lot, I might add, Aaron Judge.
Oh,
wow. I'm surprised no Ryan Rayburn there.
I don't believe he was in the top 50, Herb.
Okay.
He probably didn't have 60 at-bats. He probably just had 50 at-bats and 10 homers.
He had 60 at-bats because he was with the Tigers and the Indians all the time. And every time it was a time for Ryan Rayburn to hit a home run, he did.
What is Judge's weighted runs created plus, if I can ask?
Aaron Judge, career weighted runs created plus against the White Sox, 252.
Oof. Stop pitching to him.
Oh
Just walk.
He's 150% better than an average major league hitter against the White Sox.
Barely plays the White Sox.
He's 32% better than the guy who's in 2nd place.
Aaron Judge is like, hey, can you trade me to Cleveland, please?
No.
I need more money.
Oh, man. All right. That was a really good stat. Thanks,
That's
man.
awesome, Vinnie.
Yeah, good job. All right. Now I want to look up Babe Ruth's because I know he has the most home runs against the White Sox all time.
That was since 2000, guys. That was just since 2000. So
right. I don't think they had weighted runs created plus back in Babe Ruth's age. But no, that was a great stat.
Tabulate it.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, Vinny. And make sure you follow Vinny at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. And 2, make sure you check out his latest piece at allchgo.com talking about Michael Kopech's move to the pen and Oscar Colas's move down to AAA. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. And I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Stephen Nicholas for producing our show. We will talk to you. Apparently, real quick, this is a fun one. If we're taking out all plate appearances, structure, I think Dontrell Willis hit 1 home run in 1 plate appearance, so he is technically the greatest hitter of all time against the White Sox, and I think we can leave it at that. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. We will talk to you tomorrow.
After the game.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's no pregame, so it's like
pregame.
Another 6:40 start.
No,
so we'll
me
be here
and you
around
have the Big Ten after dark at 7.
Well, so we'll be here around 9:30 or so. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's show. Talk to you then. Bye.